Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today, guys, we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin to see what's been going on most recently with Bitcoin. We'll also talk about, what's been going on the larger timeframes as well as the smaller timeframes. So as we get into this, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. And if you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you're going to be kept up to date with all of the videos that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, links in the description down below. Fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. We spend a lot of time down there doing extra technical analysis on a whole host of different altcoins, so why not check that out? Right, let's jump right down into this Bitcoin analysis. So we're just here with Bitcoin on the daily chart, right? And one of the things I want to talk about is this really complex fourth wave correction. And if I actually zoom on out here a little bit, you can kind of see the overall structure, right? We've got basically these impulsive moves, right? We've got 3 motive moves and 2 corrective moves. So basically we have motive 1, motive 2, and yet to come motive 3. We've got corrective 1 and corrective 2. Okay, so basically these are 5 waves in total, and there are, of course, very specific rules that have to be adhered to when it comes to Elliott wave, and specifically these impulsive moves like this one here. Wave 2 is not allowed to cross the low point of wave 0. It cannot retrace more than 100% of wave 1, right? Simple rule. Wave 2 should never be below wave 1. Wave 3 should be a minimum of 1.618, okay, and usually they go higher than that, but the minimum is 1.618 of wave 1, okay, and again, you can take a Fibonacci retracement tool, you can measure the distance of wave 1, translate this or transpose this over into the lows of wave 2, and here you can see that we pushed past the minimum threshold for wave 3 at 1.618. That came in at 42,537 approximately for Bitcoin. Okay, then wave 4. Now wave 4 is usually actually shorter than wave 2, and in this case you can see exactly that. And wave 4 is not allowed to cross the high point of wave 1, right? So if, for example, if we were to come down and cross this threshold, that would invalidate this move, and it's no longer going to be expecting a 5th wave higher. Okay, so very basic rules. Wave 5 typically goes to 1.618. It can go higher. It can sometimes also go lower. But for crypto, one thing I've noticed is a 1.618 seems to be resonating incredibly well with that 5th wave. So as we kind of drill down into this 4th wave correction that we've been in, we end up taking a look at this in a really interesting way. I think this is a running flat correction, and what we mean by that is there's a lot of noise inside here. So we kind of skip over the noise. You've got a high point at 65k. We pull back down into the low points down here. This is about $28,000 Bitcoin. We then push up slightly higher than the origin position of 65k, this being 69k. And then we pull down lower, but we do not cross the lows of our A wave, and that becomes a running flat correction, right? Not an expanding flat. Expanding flat would seem, 25k maybe, something to that effect. So that is still a possibility, but I think we've actually invalidated the moves going down here, indicating such a low point. Okay, so I don't think that's going to happen. I think this is actually a running flat correction, A, B, and C. Now, inside of these, you can kind of get confused, or you can kind of spend a lot of time looking at what is going on the inside. We've got 5 waves here, we've got 3 waves here. Some people are expecting 5 waves on this side. The only thing is that hasn't actually played out, and it's because it's been invalidated. So if we remember the rules about Elliott theory, and specifically these moves to the downside, I know a lot of people have been saying that this is wave 1, this is wave 2, this is wave 3, this is wave 4, and they'll expect a wave 5 down lower, right? This is completely wrong for several reasons, right? One, wave 1 is never allowed to be the longest wave. Wave 3 is typically the longest wave. Wave 4 has crossed wave 1, so we know that's broken and doesn't work, and therefore invalidates these low points for a 5th wave lower, right? So we know that, and this is the key thing with this move to the upside, what we've been saying for quite some time. When we had this move coming up here, we weren't buying it, because this was basically an invalidation move. It was basically invalidating the analysis here, saying that we were going down into those lower lows, right? Once that was invalidated, we bought the dip coming down, right? And now we can ride it up higher. So it's important that we understand, where we buy, where we don't buy, and what would invalidate what moves, right? So for me right now, it's looking like 32k is a possible low point. It's possible we can go down lower, but I don't think it's required. I don't think it's necessary. And what we've got inside here is a coiling of sorts. And this, we've got a high point and a high trend line and a low trend line. And again, this is coiling up to kind of maybe reach that point of about 47,500, breaking that resistance altogether. And if that does come in, then that would be, you know, a really good place for Bitcoin to then start to see some form of corrective action, again, setting the lower lows. But I am expecting to break that trend line to the downside. Now, again, you can expand this out. You can put a trend line all the way from the 69K area all the way down. You can see that we broke through these. And this is one of the reasons I don't like trend lines. You know, they're so easy to break through them if you don't get them, you know, exactly right. They're the easiest thing to draw, so a lot of people tend to draw them, but they're not great for analysis in my opinion. But I will just pop that back where it was, so you can see we've got the resistance line up there. So for our larger time frame, we are looking at trying to track up. We've got a stochastic RSI that's been lowered quite nicely, and we have got the weekly in a really good spot, and the monthly is in a really good spot from a stochastic RSI perspective, right? So we know that there's upside to come here in the next kind of few months, right? That's kind of an obvious thing to kind of state. So we are looking upwards, but there should be some volatility on the smaller time frames, right? The 8 hourly is correcting, the 4 hourly is already corrected, but we need to come down on this hourly chart, right? So if we just focus in on what was happening yesterday in this kind of move down to here, we can also, you know, zoom right in just a little bit further here. You can see that we hit the C wave target. Actually, it went a little bit lower than we were expecting, which is fine. We can pull that in. We've actually had the ABC up. So again, all of these corrective moves, nothing special about them. They are just exactly what they are, corrective, right? Lots of noise on the smaller time frames. So right now, as we kind of come across here, we can see that the market's a bit undecided. So let me grab hold of my rectangular box. I'll show you what I mean. Right here, we have all of these wicks, right? All these wicks are basically telling us there's a lot of selling pressure right up there. And right in this little spot right here, we've got a lot of buying pressure. Basically meaning we're open and closing right in the middle of it. It's an undecided market, pretty much a dojo candle, i.e. You're pretty much opening and closing in pretty much the same space. So we don't really know. Now, from there, what you do is you take a look at other indicators, such as the momentum behind the price, right? The stochastic RSI. And this is indicating to me that we should be pulling down. Not only do we have Elliott wave saying that we've had a push up, and the stochastic RSI is overbought, but we also have, you know, an undecided market that, you know, some traders, retail traders or whatever, are trying to figure out if it's going up or down. It's going down. It's going down because after a move up in terms of a wave count, you have a wave count that goes the opposite direction, right? So ABC up means we're going to get ABC down. And then ABC down effectively means that we are going to be lowering the stochastic RSI, right? So we could potentially be looking at a relatively small move, or it could be a larger one. It's not overly clear just yet. I would think that we're probably going to be stuck inside this range here. So I would say that we're probably going to be coming down maybe towards 38,485, something like that. I would anticipate some kind of move in here. I'm not expecting any major moves. I'm not expecting, you know, to have the floor pulled from us and to pull all the way down into those lower ranges of like $37,000. And at the same time, I'm not expecting any moves up to about $40,000. I think we're going to be trading in a range here for a little bit. And I think then that will kind of allow us to correct the stochastic RSI and the momentum behind the price so that we can get a surge to the upside. On the larger timeframes, we are looking good for good moves up. A little bit more corrective action required on the 8 hourly. I'd like to see that 4 hourly come back down as well. The daily can come back down, and then everything's kind of lined up. So I would anticipate that we'd probably have another couple of corrective moves in here, doing not a lot, and then we get a break upwards as we start to think about moving up into those higher ranges. As I said, $47,500 has been my target for Bitcoin for quite some time, so we want to kind of track that one. Yeah, we're probably a few days away from there, or weeks even, in tracking that one to that high point. Right now, we've kind of gone down. We've had that move up. We haven't gone down lower here. This could be a big A wave. This could be a B wave. That could be a C wave taking us higher towards $43,000. And then, yeah, we should be, you know, tracking nicely towards our move of $47,500 approximately. Invalidation on that, of course, if we do drop down lower than $34,000, then, you know, we are not going to see, you know, $47,500. It would invalidate that. And at the same time, if we were to come back down and retest our trend line at about $35,000, it would lower our target of 47 to about 45. But again, you know, we're basically just inside that triangular wedge shape. As you can see here, we've got the ascending trend line and we've got a slight descending trend line here. We're looking for the breakout. There's no guarantee of it. On the larger scale, we have $47,500 on the daily. But again, we could be breaking down towards $35,000. That's very possible. And again, we'll just be basically testing this area at the top end as well. And from an Elliott wave theory perspective, all of this, if we were to be bearish on it, would be a big move, maybe down to the 25Ks. They're possible. You'd basically end up with something like this, right? Basically an A, B, C, D, E in a big B wave move, and then an impulsive break to the downside. Not guaranteed yet. We haven't really completed enough waves to really know if that is going to happen, but it's a possibility at this stage until we break out of this area. Okay, so one to be just a little bit cautious on. But for now, it looks like we are stuck inside this range for a bit longer, and we should enjoy, scraping the profits as and when we see it. So guys, I'm going to leave the video there. If you have found it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you are going to be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Links to Discord in the description down below. Go check it out. Fantastic community talking crypto 24/7, completely free to join. And we're down there a lot doing extra technical analysis on a whole host of different altcoins. So why not check it out? I would love to have you down in Discord. With all that said, done and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.